So now that we gave the flowers to the Pacers, let's be thoroughly disrespectful and say if the Celtics advance, who would be the better matchup for them? Is it Dallas?
Yeah, it's probably Dallas. Dallas has got some decent wing defenders, especially in the aftermath of that P.J. Washington trade. But, the two games the Celtics played against Minnesota were absolute dogfights. I mean, they were just tough matchups against the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves have that kind of wing defense that can give those Celtics wings a lot of problems. When you have, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I mean, those are guys that don't need a lot of help when you put them on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And those two guys are the engine that drives the Celtics. Whereas the Celtics, if you go up against Dallas, yeah, Luka and Kyrie are tough. No question about it. But just like against Indiana, you've got kind of the horses there to match up one-on-one with Jrue Holiday, Derek White, two all-NBA defensive team players just named this week. Jaylen Brown is a very good defender as well. So I like the matchup with Dallas. And look, as someone that loves web traffic, the idea of Kyrie Irving coming back to Boston is just mouthwatering. Bring Kyrie back to Boston, bring that storyline back to life, bring all the tales back of that 2019 season that went so awry. I mean, I understand the purists out there want to have a good Anthony Edwards versus Jason Tatum breakdown. I'm all about that at some point, but bring Kyrie back into the TD Garden where he is, probably the biggest villain they've seen there in a generation. Like he is, villain number one among Celtics fans. That would be a really electric series.
A pregame one smudging. Would that happen, do you think, inside where he would stroll around and smudge the place again? Remember that one, Chris?
Well, we saw that. We also saw him sage the place during the pandemic.
Okay.
That was, he also kind of like stepped on Lucky, when he was playing for the Nets there at center court. So, Kyrie's brought some of this on himself, and he knows that. But I would just love to see it. And look, I am more than impressed with what Kyrie has done during his time in Dallas. Like, he has to own everything that happened at the end of his time in Cleveland, at the end of his time in Boston, at the end of his time in Brooklyn. He has to own that. He kind of walked away from 3 championship-level teams and kind of blew them up in the process. He's gone to Dallas, and when you talk to Mavericks coaches down there, they say he's been nothing but professional in the locker room. You saw, after the last series, Luka Doncic, he loves playing with Kyrie Irving, loves being alongside him. And, you watch some of these postseason games, Rich, and Kyrie's never going to be a great defender, but he's trying out there. Like, he is giving his best on the defensive end. And when he's playing like that and all the other stuff is not part of the conversation, he is still an elite NBA player.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.